Champions League, all the excitement, all the news, all the happening, all the surprises are here with you as Ashile is bringing details to you. Real Madrid is shocker. Things are not actually going well with Real Madrid currently. Not to talk of Atletico Madrid receiving 4 goals to nil. This new setup of Champions League is revealing the real side of the big clubs because I cannot think far. What is really happening? If you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video with me, Sami, and Eddie, and we'll be bringing you the happening of these group stages of Champions League. The tables are turning. What is going on? Sami, I can't think far. We all thought maybe the excitement was just going to be massive as Arsenal won against the PSG on Tuesday, but then this Wednesday games was absolutely incredible. But let me take us through the Arsenal game,
Arsenal game.
the Arsenal PSG.
Okay, so I think Arsenal had a very interesting game, both sides. Before that, we all mentioned that Dembele had issues with his coach, Luis Enrique, so he was dropped. And I think that also affected them a bit. But then, if you can see what Arteta is doing in Arsenal, is brilliant because he's playing too many tactics depending on the kind of team he's facing. The Arsenal that we used to know always used to open up and then sometimes concede goals. But this time, he's having a very good, solid defensive block. He scores the goals, he comes back to defend, and that's what we saw with PSG. I think Arsenal played a very incredible game, and also Saka setting his record as scoring 5 goals consecutively in the Champions League. I think this went well for Arsenal. On the other hand, PSG were poor on that day. I think from the goalkeeper, Donnarumma, he was not at his best. Looking at the first goal that Kai Havertz scored, I think he could have done better, even with the second goal. Though people are speculating that Arsenal have been practicing a lot of set pieces, which actually helped them score the second goal. But I think that Donnarumma could have done better. The front line to Luis Enrique did not have a very good start with the game, especially having the squad playing these young folks in front against a team like Arsenal. But at the end of the day, we had a very brilliant game, and we know that Arsenal is in the right path.
Manchester City was silenced by Inter Milan at home, but then on Tuesday they went out there winning 4 goals to nil. Erling Haaland gets his goal as well. What do you think about that game as well?
So that game was incredible. Manchester City is on top form. Their game against Inter, they couldn't probably win against them. The game ended, I think, the game ended in a draw. And for them to probably proceed on top of their table, I think they will have to probably win their games. And that's what we saw. Winning 4 goals to 0. I think that was incredible. And Haaland getting a goal. We've been talking of Haaland for, I think, a couple of seasons now. He's always in the news. Ask yourself why. Because he's getting the supply from Manchester City. And anytime he's getting the supply, our goals, I think, Telly is always going high. And anytime there's lack of supply, that's when you see Man City fumbling. I think that's when things don't go up for them. But for them to win their game, I think is good.
Barcelona make a comeback after a first defeat against Monaco in the first Champions League game, but they prove a point by scoring 5 goals to nil against Young Boys. Was Young Boys that bad, or Barcelona just outclassed them?
I think I'm not going to say young boys were bad. But I think the class of Barca was more than that of young boys, especially looking at the first game, getting a red card in the 10th minute. I think it distorted the game of Barcelona. But then playing at home, but as a Barca fan, I was not so much impressed with the way we played. But still, we were able to score 5 goals. I think right now we have the strongest front line in the world. As currently, we have that of Rafinha, that of Lewandowski, and also that of Lamine Yamal. But with that, I think that the team is still gelling bit by bit, and we're going to take it one game at a time. I think young boys, on the other hand, have had a very rough struggle of the season, both in Champions League and also in the league. So it's not so much a joyful win, but then the 3 points is 3 points. So we are glad to get our first 3 points.
3 points is 3 points. Eddie, your own team, Bayern Leverkusen, we all expected a lot of goals against AC Milan, but then Bayern Leverkusen was able to get the 3 points scoring by 1-0 against AC Milan. Your thoughts on that?
All right, so we doing our, I think, pretty much analysis and also the follow investors. We did mention that I think there were going to be a lot of probably both teams to score, or on the other hand, to Liverpool seem to win because we, based on their telling or based on their record, they are on the top form, and to win against AC Milan, it wasn't a surprise. And even most of the point, they had the home advantage. They played the game at home, so it's good. It's good for them, and I think they'll probably go far in this Champions League. Yeah.
The other result on Tuesday is RB Salzburg actually losing 4-0 against Brest. And hey, Stuttgart drew 1-1 against Sparta Praga. And also we have Borussia Dortmund scoring 7-0 against Celtic. And Inter Milan also scoring 4-0 against Crevena. And hey, PSG doing 1-1 against Sporting CB. We all knew that game was going to be a cracker and it showed for sure. And we'll be moving to Wednesday Champions League as the most surprises comes on. And I can't believe it myself. I don't know whether it's this new style that is making these Champions League, big boys of the Champions League going at the bottom of the league table or is just something else. Sammy, we talked about Atlanta performance recently, and they've caught Shakhtar Donetsk. We all thought you guys were saying, Shakhtar Donetsk is a big club. They have been in the Champions League for quite a number of times. Then Atlanta will not actually get it quite higher, but then they have been able to score 3 goals in their game against Shakhtar Donetsk.
Yeah, so I watched the game and I think it's unfortunate that our own Shakhtar Donetsk were able to fall to Atlanta. When the game began, I saw they were trying to do their possible best, but then the quality of Atlanta was just too much for Shakhtar Donetsk, and therefore conceding such goals. But I think at the end of the day, they should applaud themselves and still keep their heads high. We know how Shakhtar Donetsk can do, what they have done before, and I hope that this will be a learning curve because they still have a lot of games to go. But then Atlanta at the end of the day was better than Shakhtar Donetsk.
Eddie Duran spectacular goal differentiate Aston Villa and Bayern Munich. You were thinking Bayern will win it with much goals, but then Aston Villa's side were able to win at home 1-0. Do you think Vincent Kompany and his men and Hurricane was just for yesterday?
That's one of the big surprises we saw yesterday in the Champions League. For Bayern to probably go to England, we were expecting it to be a tough match. Because if you've noticed, I think the few matches of Aston Villa, their matches have been on and off in the league, but in the Champions League, I think they are putting on a massive performance in the Champions League. So that's one thing we should credit them for. And for them to win against Bayern Munich, I think they are really doing a good job. They really did a good job to fight and win 1-0 against Bayern. So kudos to them for them probably getting the 3 points. And I think Bayern fans they were furious because they had a couple of chances that they could have probably equalized the game or probably go ahead to win the game. But because they failed to probably utilize those chances, Aston Villa also took the 3 points at the end of the day. And kudos to them. The English clubs are doing well. Liverpool won their game, Aston Villa winning their game, Man City winning their game. It's a good thing for the English clubs. Yeah.
Something like Eddie rightly said, it was one of the surprises. But the other surprise was Benfica scoring 4-0 against Atletico Madrid, who just drew their game in the weekend against Real Madrid. We thought they could have go in there to make it a massive deal for themselves. But once again, one of the top clubs in European football is falling against Benfica.
I think even the players themselves were surprised to see the 4 goals get into their legs. Everyone was surprised. So I think Benfica on the other day showed that they wanted a point more. Looking at the likes of Angel Di Maria, Di Maria was brilliant, netting in that spectacular penalty. On the side of Atletico Madrid, I really do not see anybody really pushing for a goal. And one thing that Simeone said after the game was that after the second goal, it dampened their spirits. And I think, no, people are blaming that after the Real Madrid game, yeah, they lost a lot of strength and those things. But no, that was so much excuses. I think Benfica is trying to prove something ever since they sacked their coach and had a new one. And I think they're on the right path. We should also take them for this Champions League.
I think the likes of Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Junior, Valverde, Chouameni, Camavinga, all of them were present. But Real Madrid, as Real Madrid, Carlo Ancelotti could not get a win against Lille. The French League One football is becoming greater side on what really happened in that game.
All right, so to be frank with you, yesterday I think Real Madrid, on the other hand, Real Madrid in the Champions League, the history concerning Real Madrid in the Champions League, yesterday didn't favor them. I think due to the penalty, like the penalty changed everything in the game, and probably the Real Madrid tried their possible best. I think the lineup I think there was this guy, Hendrick, who started the game. Vinicius was there, you know. Jude also started the game, and some couple of players also started the game. But with all these great players, with their effort and everything, the Lille side defended so well, that they were able to hold Real Madrid down with that one goal to the 90th minute. And I think so it's one of the surprises. But let's not forget, Real Madrid is Real Madrid. This their lose, probably they will still come back in the Champions League and they will go fight the Champions League. So yeah, Lille yesterday had their good day. They were on the better side. They won the game 1-0 with the penalty. But let's not forget Real Madrid is still Real Madrid, and probably they will go far.
Probably they will.
Just that fellow investors yesterday, it was like a disappointment for fellow investors yesterday. Yeah, we were
A
bleeding.
lot
We
of
were bleeding.
disappointment. Yeah, to us and to the fellow investors, absolutely. I mean, it's like you were just smiling because it's Real Madrid. As a Barcelona fan, it's like you are feeling happy inside you.
Honestly, when it comes to Real Madrid, losing a game like that is not a problem because we all know what they are. They always start slow in every Champions League. Never have you seen Real Madrid going their full power. So we start like this, then the team gets the balance and down they play. But one thing that I can say is that I think Real Madrid for some time now are not playing well. They are not really doing what we know of them for. So now information even reaching me right now is that a meeting was held with Ancelotti telling him that he should try and get the team back on track. If not, something can happen. But then Real Madrid it's not a big news. They lost with Shakhtar Donetsk. At the end of the day, they won the Champions League. So it's something normal. But the only thing, as Eddie said, is that we are bleeding. We are bleeding.
Liverpool against Bologna as the man himself, Mo Salah, assisting for Mark Allister, who has been silent in the Liverpool team for quite a long time, and also scoring himself a spectacular goal for that matter. This Liverpool team, they are just silent, but then they are just winning game by game. Are you not surprised with the performance Ancelotti is putting out?
Honestly, personally, I'm not, because that's the kind of team that Klopp left behind. It's a team that can win trophies. And it's not too, I'm not taking credit from him, but he too, he has been good. He has been able to change one or two things about the Liverpool side, which is also a good thing for them. But one thing I want to mention is that there was two records that happened yesterday. That is McAllister scoring his first Champions League goals after winning the World Cup and also Copa America. And we also saw that Mo Salah has been the first African player to score 45 goals. 45 goals in the Champions League. I think he has passed that of Samuel Eto'o, Didier Drogba. So right now he's the top African player. And when it comes to Liverpool team, I think the setup alone is marvelous. From the goalkeeper to everyone supporting, everyone playing the team. And Slot have been able to get that glue. They just lost one game so far in the season, that of Nottingham Forest. Aside that, everywhere they go, they take their points. And after the game, they interviewed Salah. Salah said that no, this is not the time yet. We should still give them time. And I think that is it. We can't just push them yet to be favorite. But me personally, I think they're also favorite to win the Champions League this time. On the other hand, Bologna is not a team that is noted for Champions League, though last season they did absolutely well. But when it comes to Champions League, sometimes quality is bigger than quality. And so I think that's what happened to Bologna. But big ups to Liverpool fans, big ups to the Liverpool team. I hope that they will go far in this championship.
Eddie, when I personally said RB Leipzig was going to win against Juventus, but then Vlahovic showed why his name was trending to Chelsea, to Manchester United, to wherever, Real Madrid, wherever, scoring 2 goals to make Juve winning 3-2 away from home. Do you think it was just lucky or Juve are really performing out of Serie A?
All right, so I think this particular game, yeah, we got the prediction right, including the goals and also giving, I think, Juventus I think the majority, yeah. The game was a thrilling game. To see like 5 goals in such a game, I think it was just marvelous. And more to the point, Juventus this season they've been like on and off, yeah, but they are still gelling. They are still gelling into both the domestic league. So for them to win 3 goals to 2, I think it's just massive. It's just massive. I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that they'll probably keep on this form in their domestic league as well, so that we will see the better side of Juventus and probably we can just include them in our daily follow investors bets, yeah, in our slaves, yeah.
Other results that we is Feyenoord won away from home against Girona 3 goals to 2. Dynamo Zagreb and Monaco drew 2-2 as well. Storm Graz lost to Club Brugge from home 1 goal to 0. And hey, if you just join us and you are new, remember to hit the subscription button, like and share the video, and your opinions are highly welcome. See you in the next video. Ciao.